The sun has set over the Brown County Fair in Georgetown, Ohio for our final of the Jasper Pulling Series for this 1997 season. We're ready to go with the 6,200-pound two-wheel drive trucks, and here is Mr. Bad, the man to beat, Dick McPherson and his Missouri Raiders.
He is trying so hard to make it 2 Jasper Points titles in a row. Your points champion last year was Dick McPherson. He is in a dead heat battle now with Darrell Varner in the rare breed. We'll watch Darrell's run in a minute. Right now, though, all eyes on the Missouri Raider. He is setting the distance to beat 283.10.
Now, he has the option of either taking that pull or rejecting, and that's close enough to 300 feet. He will accept it. So Jim Mattingly, the second puller from Bardstown, Kentucky, will drive the Kentucky Colt. And while he's hooking up, let's check in with Ken Stout.
Dick, it looks like you're number 1, but we're not finished yet. Do you think it's going to be good enough to hang on?
Oh, no. It's going to be, the track's going to, moisture's going to come up the track, and they'll be out the end before the night's over.
Oh, so you don't feel good about your pull?
No, I just drawed an early number, and the track was dry, and I think the moisture will come up in there and get better. But as far as the pull, yeah, I made an all right pull when I ran. I maybe should have got a better run, but I was well satisfied, yeah.
Well, it better be, because he's accepted it, and Jim Mattingly and the Kentucky Colt will now try to beat the mark of 283 feet.
Well, Jim Mattingly has a unique advantage, some people would say. He has 2 trucks in this same class. This is his full-body truck. He's got a T-bucket we're going to see run later. Maybe
look at that. Sport of inches, 280.1 feet. 3 feet short of the mark set by Dick McPherson. So, yeah, I guess he'll take that. But now, like father, like son, or like son, like father, here comes Dick McPherson's son, Jeff McPherson.
That's right. Jeff just got off his first win, in fact, in Litchfield, Kentucky for this season. So he's going to try to make it 2 wins in a row. And look, he has spotted that sled right to the right-hand corner of the track, trying to see if that's the groove for the 23 T-bucket to be in.
We've talked to them before, and believe me, father and son have a lot of communication between them. Looks like a nice run for Jeff McPherson. Let's see if he can beat that. Oh, and he had a mechanical problem, Tom.
Not sure what was wrong, but whatever it was, he went down quick.
269 feet. Here comes the only funny car from Findlay, Ohio, the classy chassis of Richard Rhinesmith.
Look at that beautiful wheel stand there. He is flying, but sometimes you get it up a little too high, and it's not going to help him out there.
And Ken Stout tells us things are getting a bit tight down in the pits.
We're in the trailer that Jim Lyons owns, and he drives the truck called Stitches. This is it right here. Perfect situation for me to show you how they extend the front end on these trucks so that the front tires can be in fresh dirt, and also the rear tires can be in fresh dirt. And as you can see, they barely squeeze this thing into the trailer. Another thing that they do when they're locking one of these down is this bumper weighs 2,800 pounds, and it would literally destroy the front suspension if it was to just bounce up and down during travel. So what they do is they jack it up, put a chain on it, let it back down on these jack stands, and then pull it nice and tight so it can't bounce.
And with the 4-wheel drive category completed, he's tied down, ready to go home. Meanwhile, the 2-wheel drive trucks are still going. Here comes the young gun of Steve Graus.
And remember, this truck looks familiar to you guys. It used to be owned by the Sullivans, Donnie and Danny. They've got another truck in competition. They sold this truck to their friend, Steve Graus, who made a good run, 284.60.
Which is good enough to take the lead away from Dick McPherson's 283 feet. But Jim Lyons in the Stitches, remember we told you he has 2 trucks. Here comes the second one right here out of Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right. He is going for the lead, and he knows this track. He has won Georgetown, Ohio many times before, and he has got a new leader here, Ted. 288.02, the distance to beat with the Stitches machine.
288 feet, you bumped into first place. You think it's going to be good enough to hang on?
I hope it is, but there's some good trucks back there yet, and I had a cylinder when it weighed on me, so, you know, I just hope to hang on.
I noticed you moved over to the right just a little bit. Did it seem to help?
It seemed like it did on the starting line down there. It was better.
So the right-hand side of the track is the place to be. We have more 2-wheel drive trucks coming up. We'll have those when we return. It's a vivid display of colorful lights over the Brown County Fair as we continue our coverage from Georgetown, Ohio of the Jasper Pulling Series. Our final event, World Championships on the line. The number to beat in the 2-wheel drive category, 288 feet just turned out by Jim Lyons. But here comes a gentleman who may be able to beat that mark. His name is Robert Hodge. He has a very interesting and colorful truck called the Freight Shaker.
I'm not sure what type of road tractor this is supposed to half-breed to be, I guess you could say, but it's a unique showpiece to say the least. Had a rough ride, 159.40, but the crowd's enjoyed it, Ted.
Oh, those flashing lights even match the fair look here. Here comes Jim Mattingly.
That's right. Now, he is trying to beat his old nemesis, Jim Lyons. And if you want to talk about a rivalry that goes back a long ways, Ted, I'm leaving out a lot of the color on it because I want to make sure I make it to the next pool. But he would love oh so much to beat Jim Lyons. And Jim Lyons would love oh so much to make sure he keeps the lead from Mr. Mattingly.
One of the ever-popular 23 Ts, 288.7. Jim Lyons had 288.2 feet. We told you it was a sport of inches. We've got to look at that again.
Well, here on the Synergen Oil replay, you can see that Jimmy Mattingly has quite possibly the most perfect run we've seen tonight in the two-wheel drive truck class. Just there at the end, he had to get on the brake to keep from going out of bounds, but what can you say, a great run. And here's a guy that knows the track here very well. His home county, Rich Sanford, the Valco GMC, just for fun. Oh, he is going for a wild ride, Ted.
Completely out of shape, out of Cincinnati, Ohio, the Queen City, Rich Sanford, 286 feet. Boy, if he would have been straight, he'd have taken the lead, Tom.
Well, like you said, it's a sport of inches, and if we could only measure how far these guys zigzag across the track sometimes, we definitely have lots of new leaders.
Now, Don Finney with the Up and Gone Chevrolet out of Paris, Illinois, would like to take the lead away from Mattingly.
He's got a really smooth run going here. He's going to get in contention. She's starting to rock there at the end, though. Starting to bounce on him. Not going to do it. 271.10.
He had to lift off that accelerator. Once you do that, you lose that RPM and that momentum. It's tough to do very well at all. Meanwhile, the only El Camino in the pack. This is Russell Korff and the Gambler.
Just getting off of his second win this year. He won Russellville, Alabama earlier this year. Just recently won Owensboro, Kentucky. Wild ride.
But not good enough to take the lead. Once again, Ken Stout has found something for us.
One of the most scariest parts in a tractor would be the drive shaft. A lot of RPM, some of them at 10,000. So what do they do to protect the driver? They put a loop around them. The loop has to be made out of aluminum or steel. Well, some guys are looking to cut a few corners here. This one shattered, as did the drive shaft. And guess what? It's not made out of either. This is made out of PVC pipe.
And just for the record, Ken Stout, the competitor that ran that illegal drive shaft, was disqualified. Not nice to try and fool the ATPA officials, you know. Darrell Varner pulling as Mattingly, the leader, watches. Varner, the rare breed from Midway, Kentucky, 284 feet, will not get the job done. Jim Mattingly is one happy puller. But here comes a guy who could get the job done. This is the thumper, Danny Sullivan.
Well, Donnie and Danny have run this track many, many times and won on the Georgetown track. But, man, the thumper is getting out of shape here tonight, Ted.
He's short. Jim Mattingly's our winner. Ken is there.
Jim, it looks like you put one in the bag right here.
I think we've lucked up and won one here. I really believe we have.
Must be a great feeling. The tail end of the year, you put everything all together and had a great pull.
We've had a good year. We haven't got to run near as much as we want to, but we come up here to really run hard.
How'd you feel about the pull itself?
The pull was a good pull. The track's in good shape. It took a lot of front end weight, took a lot of power.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.